Hi, I'm Greg Boas, CEO of Boas & Associates. Welcome to our video series. In this series we're going to be sharing with you some tips on how to improve the efficiency and productivity of your team. And in this first video, I'm actually going to be sharing with you 3 common problems that I've come across in my 20 odd years in the corporate world. And I wanted to share those with you because I wanted in the next video to actually share the solutions with you, and trust that'll be of great value. We all know that managing people can be challenging at times, and sometimes the issues that exist in the team are actually within a business itself, and that could be structural related or it could be process related. But these problems that I'm talking about are generally universal, and I've seen them in many companies that I've worked with and many organisations that I've worked for, both in alongside fantastic leaders and being a leader myself. The first problem that I wanted to share with you today is getting the right fit. It's just that problem sometimes when you just have someone in the organisation and they just don't seem to fit. It can be a common problem, and it really, what I've found in my experience and my research looking into the human behavioural side of things, and also talking to people, interviewing people in the human relations field, is that sometimes people just aren't a good fit for the organisation. Now, I'm going to go into some details as to how to actually solve that in the next video, but some common reasons why they're not a good fit for the organisation. It could be that they're a values mismatch for the organisation. It could be also that the line of questioning or the recruitment process is actually the issue. You may recall back to your sort of younger childhood days where you may recall having a block puzzle set. They were typically sort of a square or circular toy where you'd actually have holes drilled in there to the shape of wooden blocks or circles or other objects. And if you were to look at it, a quick analogy is that imagine that block is your business, that shape is your business, and it's a circle, yet the person that's trying to fit in there is a square or another shape that isn't a circle. And it's, as I said, it's very common. A common cause of that is actually the recruitment process, and as I mentioned, it's the line of questioning, and generally it's about fitting the person into the role rather than working out, is the person actually a fit for the organisation? Because if they're a fit for the role and yet there's no future that you see for the organisation, you're going to be in for a world of pain, unfortunately. The next problem that I wanted to talk to you about is a common cause of conflict in business, especially in teams. And that's the style of communication, or when you favour a style of communication over another. And the reality is that from a human behavioural perspective, as human beings, we actually process information and communicate on various levels. We process information through our eyes, our ears, our touch, which is kinesthetic, and also through processing information which is internal, known as auditory digital or thinking. Now, if you're a visual person, which many managers and leaders are, if your style of communication is visual and the people that work with you are not visual, then your style of communication won't land with them, so to speak. It'll be like 2 people speaking on 2 different levels, like you speaking English and the other person speaking Swahili. It just won't work. And the problem with that is that some people are so keen to please that they'll actually think they've understood you, go away and do something, and then come back, find out that they haven't done it correctly, you get angry, and then obviously things ensue from there. Now, in the next video, as I mentioned, I'm actually going to be talking about how to avoid that, but also how to get to know your staff better, how to get to know yourself better, and that will ensure that the communication process is smoother for you in the future, and will eliminate a lot of these problems that we tend to have with staff. The third problem that I wanted to talk to you about that's quite common in team environments, especially for staff that are in performance-based environments, is the style of motivation that the actual team member has. Now, for those of you who are currently manage or have managed and led a team of performance-based team members, such as sales or marketing, there are two schools of thought. Basically, you're either the stick, which is the motivator, or the carrot. And so the stick is obviously, the wielding the big bad stick, or the motivator, which is the carrot. Now, from a human behavioral perspective, we either move away from pain or we move toward pleasure. Now, it's important for you to understand each of your team members, because if you're using one style for everyone, you're going to be putting some of them off. I hope that makes sense, because it's really, really important, guys. And what you'll find is that when you can actually rock and roll with that in your communication, standing in front of people, sending emails, sending out letters and tenders, you will actually connect with people on a deeper level. And with you connecting on their level, you also increase your level of influence with them. And as a manager or leader, that's very imperative for you to have, for you then to obviously get them on board and unify the team and get them working together toward the business goals. Well, that's a quick overview of the 3 common problems, as I mentioned. I trust they've been of great value. In the next video, as I mentioned, I'll be sharing with you the solutions to these common problems. So please check back. We'll be updating the website, as I said, weekly, and this next video should be up fairly shortly anyway. Thanks very much for watching.